Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud, and I'm about to read an article that was written about episode 4 because I am too lazy to take my own notes. I only watched the episode once and I haven't been able to watch it again, and instead of trying to remember the whole thing, I was like, well, there's this website called stopbeingpolite.com that always writes a little summary of the episodes. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking, what do you call it? Cite your sources. And yeah, this is by The Future's Michael. This is episode 4. What is it called? Dirty Deeds. And really, it's like, it's about, who would you say? Who pops up in your mind as like, oh, this is what Dirty Deeds is about? I would say Bananas and Jemmy. Right? Like, Bananas is the guy who, I don't know, I mean, when it comes to the Tony and the Cara Maria thing, I mean, Bananas is the dude to say, hey, Tony, why don't you give Cara some eggs? Which, you know, out of context, in context, or whatever, it's fucking nice, you know? But what Bananas does is instigate a situation where a drunken Tony, who, again, holy shit, Drunken Tony's back. Remember, he was sober in Invasion of the Champions, and you're like, oh my gosh, this man is maturing before our very eyes. He's becoming almost CT-esque. You know what I mean? Like, where he was a complete fucking asshole, and then he slowly matures over time, and you're like, that's a guy who has his shit together and stuff like that. Very similar. It could be very similar characters, but I don't know. He's drinking again, and Bananas says, hey, Tony, give Cara some eggs. And he's got eggs on a spatula, you know, and he's already eaten some eggs, and he kind of like, you know, he's fucking drunk, but he does offer it to Cara, and Cara just kind of sits there and makes this face, and Tony's like, well, all right, well, you remind me of my 60-year-old mom, you know. Again, he's fucking drunk, and I'm also trying not to make excuses, but at the same time, it's like, hey, listen, Tony, he offered you eggs. You made a face at him. You could have said, oh, no, thank you, Tony. You know? But instead, she just makes a face. And then when he makes the most innocent, like, you know, you remind me of my 60-year-old mom, I would have took that as a compliment. But instead, Cara Maria's like, what? What does that even mean? And she's like high-fiving Tori and, like, who else is there? Jemmy and shit. And she's like, fuck. She's just getting all upset and stuff. Oh man, I'm already just recapping the episode. I probably don't need these notes. I don't have to read this article, apparently. Wow. Oh, that was easy. I mean, you know, I'm reading this by myself. Podcasting by myself. And I've stated numerous times, I absolutely loathe to do this by myself. And here I am doing it again for like the second episode in a row, something like that. Speaking of which, real quick, episode 4, all we get is deliberation and elimination, correct? That is basically the second half of a normal episode. So really, when I first made my podcast, they covered episode 1 and episode 2 together as one, and it was like, 27 minutes long? And then I recorded last episode by myself. But really, I could have saved some time and recorded episode 3 with this episode, and it would have been the same difference. Same thing as episode 1 and 2, you know? This season is elongated out. It's chopped in half. It doesn't really matter what part we're going to watch because, I mean, really, the producers don't care. They're just like, hey, listen, you're going to watch what we think is pretty cool. And so far, they've been right. Oh my gosh, because it opens up with the Redemption House. Remember those guys? The guys who aren't really fucking out of this season? What is it? Darrell, Devin, who I mistakenly called Ammo. Ammo was never there. Derek K, Amanda, God blessed Amanda, Latoya, and then Brianna. Brianna's fucking there, and she's like playing with her boobs and shit, man. Oh, it was fantastic. I'm like, do people just like let loose in Redemption House? Apparently, because they are out at the bars. They're having a genuinely good time together, and it's so interesting to open this way. Because I'm like, listen, guys, if you guys want to gain new viewers, new fans, don't have these cold openings where you're like, what is this? Because, spoiler alert, you never see the Redemption House again. It's right in the beginning, and then it's not shown in the end. Why? Holy shit, because it would take away the effect of Tony and Jenna being eliminated. Didn't that feel fucking real when Tony and Jenna lost? You know what I mean? Like, wasn't it a gut punch, or wasn't it just like a hilarious, like, you finally got your comeuppance, you were a fuck up, you know what I mean? You know, you're just like, oh my gosh, friendships torn apart, like, in the most evil way possible, you know, against each other and stuff like that. And, but what I'm saying is, it's like, it ends like that, and you're like, wow, great episode. That was good. I will tune in next week. If you don't, they didn't. This is the first time they haven't shown the eliminated players show up at Redemption House to be like, what? Second chances, bitches, and shit like that. Like Tony and Jenna, could you imagine that? Like Jenna's like, oh, well, it turns out I'm not eliminated, so cool, you know? Like, that's exactly how she would state it. You know, it's very simple, very to the point, because she can't even express herself or articulate more. But meanwhile, Tony could be like, hey, second chance for this fuck up, Dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've learned nothing. And then he gets drunk with the Redemption House people and stuff like that, you know? Because so it's totally bizarre. Once it dawned on me that, like, you know, once the episode was done, and again, I don't know if I made this clear, but I actually do like the show right now. I think it's all over the place structurally. And I think they're just, oh my God, they didn't lose viewers. They actually gained some. It's 0.93, so 930,000 viewers. And that's up from last episode and peak episode especially from the first one, 0.84. So 840. So that's a leap. And that's awesome. What the fuck am I getting at? God damn it, I need some structure here. So yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. So let's just read this article. Going back to the article. This is from stopbeingpolite.com by The Future's Michael. And I believe he's the only person to fucking write. Like, I think this is his entire website. All his own stuff, which is interesting. I mean, it's funny how you can take some shit for granted. Like, I've been going to this website like almost every day just to see like what new challenge stuff that he posts up there and stuff. And you know, and when the challenge isn't around, he's talking about Real World, which I could care less about. You know, I do not give a shit. Sure, maybe that is the preliminary fights before you get to a main card event. You know, maybe it's the college football before you get to the NFL. You know, maybe it's NXT before you get into the WWE. But I just have no interest in watching that show, really. Because, in essence, I like the challenge part of the challenge. You know, the drama stuff is just like, gosh, you know, not only do I mean, I can tolerate sitting through it for the most part. I don't care. Unless it affects the fucking storyline, then it's worth talking about. But if it's, Jesus Christ, I'm starting to, I cannot remember what I'm talking about. Let's just go with the fucking article here. God damn it. The challenge. XXX. Top moments from episode 4. Written by The Future's Michael. Prepared to be double-crossed. Prepared. Yeah, I think it's, oh shit, that's a typo already. Sorry. Oh my God. Michael, come on, clean your shit up. Prepare to be double-crossed. He wrote prepared to be double-crossed. Exclamation point. Number 1, new dogs versus old dogs. Corey, Nelson, and Hunter have formed an alliance as some of the stronger kids from the new generation. That is completely accurate. Very, very good, Michael. Corey, Nelson, Hunter. I mean, power right there. Except, well, okay, I'll take that back. Corey really isn't the best when it comes to the actual mission, the elimination. Sure, he just won elimination, but that was a shocker to me. I'm sure to a shocker to most people. Um, but he fucking he got it. But anyways, Nelson, extremely powerful, um, and so is Hunter. Powerful as in like just athletically gifted. Not to mention Nelson's got a mind for this politics stuff. Although that'll be called into question later. Let's just fucking go on with it. They want to go after the top dogs from the old school like Bananas and CT, so that they can make it to the final. Yeah, they do. They do want to go after them. I was gonna say, up. They're all like hugging and shit and like saying like, yeah, man, we're gonna fucking take out the top. But in the end, Nelson he's just like, yeah, maybe. He starts to get a little bit quieter and stuff, and Corey starts to pick up on this. He's like, we're gonna go after these top dogs. Like, to me, Corey and Nelson, this is a great pairing. Not to mention Hunter, but for the most part, these two are friends, and I need them to get along. I need them to be on the same page. But as soon as fucking Nelson starts to be like, yeah, we'll do that. We'll go after Bananas. Of course, like, what? Why are you just dropping in like enthusiasm and and assuredness? My faith in you is slowly starting to dip away. But Nelson will make up with that later. Holy shit. When the cast goes clubbing, Bananas confronts Corey and they start arguing. I don't even remember how it started necessarily. I think Bananas was like, hey man, let's fucking get a drink, and Corey's like, no man, I've already had enough shots, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, they're fucking, you could already tell there's some fucking tension there, and it's great that Corey is not backing down. He's making it clear, like, yeah, I am gonna go after you, and CT, and then Bananas like, yeah, who else? Huh? Who is it? He's like, just say it out loud. But it doesn't matter. We already know, like, Derek, for example, Jordan, Leroy, they're not going to align themselves with Corey. So, I don't know. Bananas is just trying to egg him on, and Nelson sees this. And he takes it upon himself to insert himself into the argument. This is a weirdly written. Goddamn, it's throwing me off. I'm still a fan, Michael. I'm still a fan. Nelson, being Nelson, is down to fight, but security pulls him away and de-escalates the fight. Nelson sleeps it off, but he's not the only one making drunken mistakes. Before we go on to number 2 of this article, yeah, fucking Nelson, he is clearly a little out of it. I mean, maybe there was just a very low stool in his way, but it looked like he was just kind of like, whoa, kind of stumbling drunk on his way over there, and security, which is pretty close by, they already see Nelson at least appear to be stumbling, and I really do think there was like a little bitty stool in the way. He had to move that and shit. But I mean, look at his eyes too. You can tell he is fucking drunk, and he tries to like save Corey Bananas, but instantly he starts pushing and kind of fighting, quasi-fighting, pushing around. He's like, yeah, get your fucking hands off me, stuff like that. With security, there must have been a producer, probably not a producer, but also Derek. I remember Derek's getting in there. He's kind of trying to put him in a clinch. He's trying to grab his body and stuff like that. And right away, I was like, oh my god, what if Nelson gets kicked the fuck out? Like, this isn't his first time where people in the house are like, oh shit, Nelson, he's a maniac, he's fucking scary and shit like that. So I was scared at that moment, but you know what's worse, who does a worse job with the politics in the house is number 2, Challenge Mom. Let's see here. Tony. When the cast gets home, Tony is wasted but minding his own business and making eggs. He offers some... Oh, we already talked about this shit. Yeah, he offers the eggs to Kara, who refuses and looks disgusted. Haha! Tony responds by saying that she looks like his 60-year-old mother. Cara Maria is annoyed and tells Tony he'll receive her vote. But Tony doesn't seem to care. That's right, yeah. Because, again, he's fucking out of it. And... God damn it, later on, Cara Maria repeats the 60-year-old mother comment, and then Tony's like, huh? what'd you say about, did you just talk shit about my mom, my mother? And he just starts to get really like, it's not a good look. Where he starts to almost like puff his chest out to women. You know, he stands up and he's like, what? He gets, I don't know if that's street or what, but like he's supposed to be a Southern gentleman, I heard. But I don't know, when it comes to these women, man, does not look good. Cara Maria's like, what? I mean, you're fucking out of it. And like, exactly, like this is how I feel about it. It's like, you know, Cara Maria, since you're a fucking veteran and you do these all the time, that Tony is sort of a fucking drunken idiot. But then she also brings up the fact that, like, Tony's not a good challenger anyways, which I do agree with. But it's just, I don't know, it's interesting. It's like Cara Maria just really does not care for Tony even before this, because what was up with that fucking, you know, RBF? Resting bitch face. I mean, what the fuck? Like, that was totally unnecessary. I actually got into this with Hardcore Dave. I was messaging him and I was like, hey man, did you watch the episode? I was like, yeah. And I was like, I think I preferred Cara Maria when she was the crying victim over the hard bitch that she is now. And of course, that's like, you know, that's me just going for laughs. But really, I mean, it's cool that Cara Maria finally got her win, but I don't know. There's something different about it. Like, you know, before it's like a bunch of assholes treating her badly, and you know, she's like, one day I'll rise above it and win and stuff. And she's had plenty of final appearances, and now that she had her win, and wow, 2 wins now. I mean, I say count her second win in Champs vs. Pros personally. Holy shit. Oh, speaking of, real quick, I'm so fucking excited to say that Champs vs. Pros Season 2 is already fucking getting casted. And the names, the talent is fucking staggering. Check the list out, the cast list out on this website that I'm reading this article from, stopbeingpolite.com. I have no idea who this person is. I don't know, I'm just giving a shout out because I'm like, well, I'm reading your article, and come to think of it, I do like this website because I'm there all the time. Anyways, new cast. I love the first Champs vs. Pros. The second one, it should be interesting. Check out the cast and get back to me later about that. But on to this fucking episode of Dirty 30. What is it? All right, Cara Maria repeats a 6-year-old comment. He gets confrontational. Oh, that's a really nice way to put it. Jesus Christ. I just go on these goddamn stupid ass tangents, but Bananas pulls him away and sends him to bed. So the guy who's like, hey, dude, I'm your friend, bro. I'm looking after you. You know, that's Bananas. He's also the guy who, hey, you know, this is the first thing I hear is, hey, Tony, why don't you offer your eggs to Cara, who therefore will make the disgusting face. Then Tony will say the mom thing, blah, blah, blah. This whole situation happens, right? And Tony is going to pay for this. He's going to go into elimination. He's going to get eliminated. And once again, he's like, he believes Bananas is on his side. Remember, but what was it? Jesus Christ, I don't remember. Oh, Rivals 3. Tony was once again drunk, and Bananas wakes him up, or at least sends Vinny to wake him up. I don't remember how it went. To calm down a drunken Camilla. And that was the worst idea ever because, you know, they've been arguing when they're drunk and sober this whole fucking time. Clearly, this was not a good idea, and Tony and Camilla get kicked out for that following morning because of that heated, domestic, violent, suggested scenario. It was probably more than suggested. Yeah, like he was like fucking posturing on her and shit. Again, being a douchebag to women. I do understand how perhaps, I don't know, if they would have showed him being an asshole to the women leading up to this point, and then Cara Maria does the disgusted face like, in your dreams, I would never eat your eggs or let you, you know, impregnate mine. Then it would have been justified. But like, again, Cara Maria just comes off as like this, I don't know, she knows that she's going to do every single season from now on, and she's got 2 wins basically, and I don't know. She just doesn't. She's too defensive. She's too fucking pissed off all the time. She's just so quick to be like, "Hey, fuck you." A real quick aside. there was some listeners who said, "Why don't you? What'd they say? Why don't you advertise your challenge on a Facebook fan page and talk to Cara Maria, and she'll endorse it and stuff like that?" And I was thinking, I'm like, I don't think so, man. Like I did like Cara Maria for the longest time. I think Free Agents was her best season and her most likable. Like I've ever liked her. Like I was rooting for her for sure. But after that, she changed. She changed, bro. She ain't the same chick that I used to, like I met this chick in freshman in college, and then 5-6 years later, when she finally graduated, when she finally got her shit together, she was changed. She clearly struggled in school. Took 6 years, but where the fuck am I? Bananas pulls him away and sends him to bed. Jesus Christ! All right, let's just go on to this article here. Strong players. This is number 3. Strong players and smart moves. What was I? Oh, I was saying I've been ripping on Cara lately. I don't think she would endorse this challenge. Okay, back to strong players, smart moves. Last week's winners deliberate. For the girls, Camilla's name gets thrown around because she has been an unstable player, while Kayla's name gets thrown around because people believe she has the potential to beat Camilla. Very fucking interesting how that was going down. Hold on. For the guys, some people want to see Bananas in the Presidio. Oh, I forgot. That's the name of the elimination thing. The Presidio. It's no gulag. I'll just say that. While Cara Maria holds true to her promise and wants to send in Tony. Then CT states that he wants to send in Ammo because he wouldn't want to be paired with Ammo in a challenge. At the vote, Kayla and Ammo are sent in. So just real quick, like Camilla saving Corey back in the day, pissing off CT and the other vets, that was coming around, and I think that's what it was. The hope was that Kayla would definitely go against Camilla and take out, another strong competitor. I think it was like Marie who kind of said this, even though she was supposed to be friends with Kayla, and Nisa's like, oh, well, she's a fucking bitch, but I don't, I might tip my whore hat at you and stuff like that. I don't know what was said necessarily. What else for the guys? Okay, so with Cara Maria voting in Tony, I think everyone had the same reason to vote in Tony. I just remember Leroy, when he told Ammo, was like, listen, don't take this personal. This is like, I'm paraphrasing, we're forced to do this in an asshole way. This will happen to anyone, and you're the new guy. This was going to happen to you no matter what. It does not matter how you self-identify. I'm adding that little part, but it's just like, hey, this is going to fucking happen to you. And it was great. I was like, oh, there's the Leroy I like. He has yet to really make an appearance. But I really liked him in this episode. Just for that little bitty moment, too. Just a little chunk. Kayla, Ammo, sent in. Number 4, friends fighting friends. Exactly, this sucks. At the Presidio, all the girls draw until one cross is left. Jemmy pulls the final cross. And it's the double cross. She sends in Jenna. This stuns the cast because Jenna saved Jemmy at the Purge. That's exactly right. That was episode 1. And Jenna saved Jemmy instead gets rid of more stronger players like Amanda, Latoya, But spares Jemmy. And I remember that first episode, Jemmy's like, I don't owe anybody shit, And Jemmy makes this move, puts in Jenna versus Kayla. Why? Not only is it a predestined political package, but they're two very strong competitors. Very fucking strong, young competitors, too. Sure, this is like Jenna's 5th, but overall, like, she's still fucking young. Hot. And, essential. What am I getting at? Oh, okay, so Jemmy gets the spotlight of being like, oh, this is tonight's episode highlight dirty player, because she drew the double cross. She was the best of the worst. So now she gets to decide how shit goes down, and I would appreciate it more if I thought Jemmy was any good. She really isn't. When it comes to elimination, not really. When it comes to the missions, not really. I mean, look, she's at the bottom chunk once again. So I don't know. I'm just not a bad move. I mean, if just sensationally, it was cool. Like I remember watching this episode. I'm like, oh my god, like Kayla and Jenna, and I couldn't just say, oh well, you're screwed or you're screwed. It really was a mind-boggling who will win, scenario. I was on the edge of my seat watching this thing, but yeah, I mean, best of the worst. Jemmy gets the spotlight, but really. It would be a lot cooler if she was like she truly was a threat in the house. She just was given this opportunity, and it looks cool, But I have zero faith in Jemmy, actually. Sorry, Jemmy. Let's see what's next. For the men, Nelson draws first and gets the double cross. He sends in Tony, which disappoints his allies because he had the shot to send in bananas. That is true, but I don't know. Corey says it's a scared move, and look at the people that he could have sent in. He could have sent in Bananas. He could have sent in Jordan. He could have sent in Derek. I mean, really, all those guys are aligned right there. Bananas, Tony, Jordan, Derek. Those guys are aligned. If Nelson has any sense in his brain, he should be aware of it. So, if he sends in Tony against Ammo, hey, who knows? Anything could happen, But if he sends in Bananas against Ammo, I would almost say the same thing, almost. But the main thing is it's like, hey, it's obvious that there's two big chunks of an alliance. I get why Corey's disappointed. I do kind of think that Nelson, although he didn't directly put Bananas in, Tony is part of that alliance. That is very true. It's just that Tony is not a threat. It's what a lot of people say this episode. It's what Cara Maria says, where she's like, Ammo's better than you, Tony, and stuff like that. And yeah, like I've always said, Tony is just a fuck doll. I've never said that before. He's a plastic fuck doll with a wide mouth open agape. No, he's basically Corey, where they're not really mission guys or elimination guys. They're just walking cocks with teeth and hair. Okay, Christ. What am I getting at? All right, so he sends in Tony, which disappoints his allies. Okay, I said that already, and so I'm okay with it. I don't know. It just something had to be done. And maybe it saves Nelson. Maybe, maybe they'll go against Corey before they go against Nelson. They'll still pick at his alliance, but they'll send Corey in first. You know what I'm saying? So it might have been smart overall for Nelson to be like, hey, I am not going to directly shoot at you guys. I loaded the cannon, but Corey directed it to wherever and shit like that. He also says, hey, Ammo, you said that you wanted to get the guy, you wanted to get him. And Ammo's like, no, I didn't. I said, or what did he say? And Nelson's like, no, you said you wanted to have the most drunken dude. And there you go. But Tony was more drunk than I. Right? Yeah, that could have been his fucking perfect pitch. Or whatever. I don't know. On to number 5, scaling the wall. So the elimination is called The Great Escape. And it's basically just wrecking wall from free agents and champs versus pros. You smash into a wall and climb up and ring a doorbell, but instead, there's already these holes that you have to put in these posts, these spikes, which is different. It's a different sort of game because you actually have to climb up and down a lot just to set up those pegs. And then at the end, when you get to the top, pull the chain, mud pours on your opponent. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, at least Nickelodeon had that green slime and shit like that. But I guess they want to be more like, oh yeah, this is fucking dirty. Get it? Dirty, dirty 30. Do you appreciate that? And I'm like, no, give me the green slime. At least it pops, But anyways, we have mud. I don't know what I'm getting at here. For the girls, Jenna is much calmer, and Kayla drops a peg. However, Kayla recovers and uses her peg to tip the mud on Jenna. Yeah, so she wins. It was shocking. Kayla was frazzled. She truly, her and Jenna have a true friendship. That we were shown plenty of scenes of just hot ass Jenna and hot ass Kayla just fucking chumming it up. It was beautiful, and I was mad too. That was the other reason why I was shocked. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, Jemmy. You're just jealous. Yeah. And you know what? Kayla dropping the peg, having to climb back down, and then just in the end, like they were so close to Kayla to eliminate Jenna, was just a whirlwind of emotion because I'm like, wait a minute. Jenna for real lost in an elimination. She lost, because she was undefeated for the longest time. She was eliminated from the stupid ass bloodbath in Invasion of the Champions. But that was super weird, and it was a puzzle. And you're like, if it wasn't a puzzle, Jenna would have kicked your ass. Although I guess eating. But anyways, if it's physical, Jenna is a robot. Like. I think, there's a trade-off. If you're not that smart, you might as well be strong. In nature, that's what tends to happen. And to me, Jenna is just, she says, hey, I'm kind of a ditz. I don't really, it's not an act. I am kind of a dumb blonde or whatever, So the trade-off is that she physically, if someone says, hey, climb the wall, she's going to climb the wall. She just happens to like work out and shit. She's like, no, I went on the Stairmaster and now I could climb an entire building and stuff like that. So that's just how things work with her and her body. And Kayla is just fucking talented, threatening to the other women, and I had no idea what was going to happen. Jenna gets eliminated. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking... someone had to win. I was just fucking shocked, though. It was good. It was great to see such a close elimination. For the men, Tony seems to make progress faster than Ammo, but Ammo is putting in a solid effort, which is totally true. When Tony is close to the top, he stretches to reach the tub of mud, but this causes him to fall, and it was tragic. And it's like, it's also embarrassing and stuff, but he climbs up. He's getting back up there, but Ammo now has just enough time to pull the string and have the mud dump on Tony. And, oh my gosh. It was shocking, And it says, shocking the cast and leaving Tony disappointed in himself. And really, it's like, good for Ammo. That was awesome, But like with Tony, it's like he was really kicking himself, just for drinking. He's like, no, I know that it stemmed from drinking, and I'm not the best in elimination. I don't think he admitted that, but maybe he did. I don't remember. He's like, I've been losing quite a bit on these things, and going out early, whether through elimination or through DQs, So he really wanted to prove himself, and but no, he couldn't. He messed up very publicly. I mean, it was on television, but he also you couldn't deny that he missed that first time to win and fell backwards. You're like, holy shit, you're right, Cara Maria. Everyone's right. Like, he fucking sucks and shit. He's a blow up doll. Tony's a blow up doll. And yeah, you could just fucking know that he legitimately is like, man, I'm fucking, this is bad, Drinking again. I got 2 kids from 2 different mothers, Look at me, Where's my brother at, too? What's that? He got DQ'd, you know? No, but we're not even shown any of that. It ends, you feel everything for Jenna and Kayla, and you feel stuff for Ammo and for Tony. And yeah, that is all taken away next episode when Tony and Jenna show up in the Redemption House. So, well done, the season. I mean, just, you know, if you want to write down on paper and do a podcast, then you will start to see the holes of these episodes. But just as a viewer, I've enjoyed this whole fucking thing. This is cool. I can't wait till next episode. Yeah, so thanks for sitting here with me while I try and recall that 4th episode and while reading this article to help me. It was like a fucking crutch, man. And now, without the article, I slowly lose steam. Yeah, this is Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vince and Colin. Holy shit! Like, subscribe, comment.